After the final international break of the calendar year, the Serie A season resumed on match day 8. Champions Juventus were still unbeaten in the top flight, but had drawn 3 of their previous 4 league games before the visit of Cagliari. It was just 1 win in 5 for Inter in Serie A before Torino made the trip to San Siro. Whilst 2 of the early pace setters went head-to-head as Napoli hosted Milan, and it's in Naples where we begin.
Lozano! Ibrahimovic! Now Mertens! And Salamakers is there! A huge fixture at the top of the table, but one which Milan would have to face without the presence of coach Stefano Pioli, who had tested positive for coronavirus. Assistant Daniele Banera assumed the reins. The players all with red marks on their faces as a stand against violence towards women that was taken at all the weekend's games in Serie A. And the man in the Napoli dugout was very familiar to the opposition, Rossoneri legend Rino Gattuso. Watching this one, Stuart Robson and Steve Banyard.
No Victor Osimhen for Napoli. He's got a dislocated shoulder. Hussein Rahmani have tested positive for COVID-19, but 3 changes today see the return of Meret, Mario Rui and Politano. Well, Zlatan Ibrahimovic has scored in each of his first 5 league games this season. But Rafael Leao is out after suffering a thigh injury on international duty, so Ante Rebic comes in, his first start for 2 months. Significantly at the back, Alessio Romagnoli returns after missing the Verona game. Salamakers withdrew from the Belgium squad, but has now recovered. Calhanoglu, Kessie near post. Oh. And the problem there was Kier was falling backwards as he struck it.
Well, they don't defend this at all well. It should be cut out at the near post. Politano doesn't do a particularly good job. See Koulibaly going mad with Politano there. It hits Di Lorenzo. It's a big chance.
Theo Hernandez. What a wonderful header that is, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Oh, the inspiration. A goal in each of his first 6 league games this season.
What a header this is. He jumps across Koulibaly, times his jump perfectly. It's a really good technical header as well. No surprise that Theo Hernandez is the player that delivers the ball. He makes the right run, he gets across Koulibaly, and it skids off the surface. No chance for Meret there.
Former teammate of the 2 respective coaches today. Koulibaly, Mario Rui. Insigne looking for a little bit more purpose. Lovely cutback from Mertens, and Donnarumma extended.
Well, brilliant centre-forward play from the centre-back, Koulibaly. Just set up. Dries Mertens always does that. Even in tight areas, looks as though he's going to get it onto his right foot and get shots away.
And now it's Mertens taking this corner. Manolas. Oh, cleared away. Bakayoko initially, then Di Lorenzo off the frame. Tipped over by Donnarumma in the end. From Lozano.
Well, the big chance was Di Lorenzo here. It's a fight for the first ball. Bakayoko does really well. It comes off Rebic. That's the big chance.
Calhanoglu. Look at the running here of Rebic with Di Lorenzo out of position. Manolas trying to cover. Ibrahimovic for 2. What an outstanding season he's having.
Great bit of skill and picks out the perfect cross. What a good bit of play that is from Rebic. I don't think he can really miss Ibrahimovic. Yes, he makes the right run. Yes, he's in the right place, but really good forward play from Rebic.
Fabian Ruiz, always looking up to find that big diagonal. And he's found a lovely one here for Mario Rui. Kier wasn't quite sure about Donnarumma behind him. Here's Mario Rui. And Mertens to pull one back here for Napoli and give them hope in the last half an hour.
They win the ball back. Milan wanted a foul. Zielinski just plays it into Mario Rui. There's the cutback. He does well to get it away from Romagnoli. And then on his right foot, just gets it underneath Donnarumma. That's a good finish from Dries Mertens.
Theo Hernandez away from one, and now head down, pushing, probing.
Bakioko's off. He cannot make the challenge there. He was never going to win the ball. As soon as he was running alongside, I could see that he was going to lunge in. Always going to be a second yellow card. There's the arm across. And he does enough to bring him down. In the referee's view, that's a yellow card. And off he goes.
Nonetheless, big heave-ho for Petagna, and he's in here. Petagna! Well, Donnarumma makes himself big to block. What a chance to level it up at 2-2.
It's a tight call. Ball over the top. Romagnoli doesn't defend it well enough. But he never looked in control, did he, Petagna? Got the ball stuck under his feet here. It's a good run from him.
Ibrahimovic has just gone down. Off the ball. There he is. Well, the thigh muscle seems to be the problem as a result of this cross.
He crossed it there, and just watch, he holds on to his left hamstring.
Well, Colombo coming on for Ibrahimovic. Tough act to follow. And there you can see the concern about the that left hamstring. Heading into the 5th and final added minute, and Milan still to put this game beyond any doubt. Hauger with a chance here, and Hauger has wrapped it up with his first Serie A goal. The Norwegian in the 95th minute.
Really well finished goal. Same trick that Rebic used on Manolas a little bit earlier on. He does exactly the same. He slows the Greek defender down, a little step over, goes down the outside, and it's a good finish. And the 3 points to Milan.
Milan's first league win here for a decade.
Next to another Milanese giant, Inter were hoping to kickstart their Scudetto ambitions against a Torino team who'd managed just one league win all season. The visitors saw top scorer Andrea Bellotti injured in the warm-up and were without their coach Marco Giampaolo after a positive coronavirus test. David Prutton and Adam Summerton are your commentators.
They haven't done much attacking as yet, Torino, probably as we expected, but they have been pretty dangerous in the first half an hour. And Lukaku himself, it was quite a game this, a really good watch, so much drama, and it finished Inter 4, Torino 2.
Still to come, the champions weren't losing games, but they weren't winning often either. Could Serie A's unlikely draw specialist Juventus take all 3 points against Cagliari?
We continue our review in Turin, where Juventus met Cagliari. The champions sought a spark for their season against the side from Sardinia.
Ronaldo! Back in business!
What a finish that is!
Juventus were in 5th position at the start of match day 8. They hadn't been as low in the table at this stage of the season for 5 years. Cagliari began just 3 points behind them, having won 3 of their previous 4 league matches. This one was watched for us by Tony Dorigo and Dave Farah.
There are 3 changes from Andrea Pirlo, with Gigi Buffon coming in for Wojciech Szczesny in goal in the week in which he celebrates the 25th anniversary of his first Serie A appearance. Matthias de Ligt returns to the side for the first time since a Champions League defeat by Lyon on August the 7th, as neither Bonucci nor Chiellini are available. Arthur replaces Bentancur. There are 3 changes too from Eusebio Di Francesco, 2 of which are forced on him because of a COVID-19 outbreak among the Uruguay international squad. So no Diego Godin or Nahit Hernandez, and Haralambos Lykogiannis drops out too, allowing Clavan, Pizzacane and Tripaldelli to take their places. Cagliari are the only team in Serie A to have 2 players on at least 5 goals this season, as João Pedro and Simeone line up here, João Pedro having scored in his last 5. Here's Cuadrado. Rabiot charging through. Morata with the little turn for Bernardeschi. The flag is up. The goal does not stand.
Well, that would have been a wonderful goal. The one-touch passing, great intricate play. But it looks to be Morata who was offside.
Forward by Morata for Kulusevski. Morata suddenly in space. Ronaldo! Really good challenge to deny him from Walukiewicz.
Walukiewicz just gets a touch, and a vital one as well. And eventually Morata just tries to feed his strike partner. Ronaldo's already thinking of where he's going to put it, into the back of the net.
In from Cuadrado. Headed wide by Morata.
And if he didn't head it, de Ligt was right behind him as well. Excellent ball in. Both the Dutch centre-half and the Spanish centre-forward went for the ball. Couldn't quite keep it down enough.
Great ball floated forward for Cuadrado. Here's Kulusevski. So close from his perfect position. He just couldn't bend it inside the far post.
Excellent delivery to Cuadrado. When he pulls it back, doesn't hit it with his right foot, waits for it to go across his body to his favourite left, but you can see the ball, no spin on it to bring it back inside that post.
Juan Cuadrado. Now Morata with a chance to shift it on for Cristiano Ronaldo. It's just brilliant. Juventus approaching their best, and Cagliari on the receiving end.
You always knew Ronaldo was going to come in on that right boot, but even if you know what he's going to do, so hard to stop. Zappa first, Pizzacane next. Didn't make the challenge, and of course they were made to pay because the great man sticks it in that bottom corner.
Becomes the first Juventus player in 25 years to score in his first 5 seasonal appearances in Serie A. Kulusevski, rolled in for Cristiano Ronaldo, surrounded instantly, but he picks out Kulusevski, who wins the corner.
The only surprise there is Ronaldo's tried to find Kulusevski again. I thought instead he'd go for goal himself, but he picks him out. Couldn't quite then get it on target, but really good play.
From Cuadrado, it's touched on and touched in. Cristiano Ronaldo strikes again.
Of all the players just to leave roaming at the back post, you wouldn't pick Ronaldo to have that much time and space, and even when it is behind him slightly, he's got the ability and the poise to somehow find an excellent finish.
Held up by Alvaro Morata, now Merih Demiral. One of those slightly off-balance charges, which he specialises now. Cuadrado!
Jinking run inside the box. Always just throws that shoulder. He goes out to the right-hand side. It really is good wing play from Cuadrado.
Cuadrado for Merih Demiral, off the crossbar and away, just about. Dangerous moments for Cagliari.
Demiral, very impressive, gets up high. Cagliari need to do a lot better, at least make a challenge.
Oh, that's an awful pass. And it's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's got support here from Kulusevski. And he rolls it back for Ronaldo, and then for Bernardeschi. Ronaldo with a chance for his hat-trick, and selflessly dummied, and it doesn't lead to a third and clinching goal.
Excellent ball across. Ronaldo does everything right. Bernardeschi, with a goal at his mercy, should just go back to where the keeper had come from. Instead, Tranio makes a good save.
Here's Bernardeschi. Zappa is desperately trying to get back. It's held up now for Morata, who was leaning back as he hit it.
And that's why, unfortunately, the shot went up and over the bar. Timing of the pass and run is absolutely perfect. Zappa is desperate to get back. Bernardeschi hasn't got great pace, but good layoff. I expected that net to bulge.
Now Unas. Joao Pedro with the run. Can he get there in time?
Must have been close, not been on the ball in that last third too often. Joao Pedro, this time he does just about keep it in. That one's close.
And they do have a corner to defend here, Juve. Marine in the end was able to deliver! Cagliari have a goal back. Ragnar Klavan has taken a whack in the face. And the flag has gone up here now. Was he off here, Marine? Oh, he was, I think.
Offside, unfortunately. It's awful defending from Ronaldo at the near post, just dangles a leg, and all he does is put it into the danger area. However, Marine, looking across the line, was offside.
Oh, one back there, and here's Dybala. Kulusevski with him. He'd love to go on his own and make his mark, and it's deflected through, and it's Kulusevski.
Kulusevski just nicks it off the player, and Dybala then does the rest.
They finished in Turin. Juventus 2, Cagliari 0. Earlier on Saturday evening, Spezia hosted Atalanta. Spezia had won convincingly against Benevento just before the international break, but would surely have more on their plate against last season's top scorers. Commentary comes from Patrick Kendrick.
Bastoni. Obega's continued his run. 3 teammates to aim for in the middle. And it nearly reached Enzola. Good start this from Spezia, promising. Farias looking to curl it. And it caught the upright. Golini beaten the frame of the goal to Atalanta's rescue. Terrific effort from Diego Farias. Zapata. Cleverly done. Away goes Gosens. Ilicic and Gomez joining in. Gosens' touch was heavy, but still there for Robin Gosens, who should have at least hit the target. That's the best that Atalanta have produced tonight. Fit again. No surprise to see the German getting forward. Forward by Gomez. Away by Elic, but straight to Ilicic. And this is Duvan Zapata. Still Duvan Zapata. And this time Atalanta strike the woodwork. Really good effort from Zapata. So unlucky not to find the back of the net. Ilicic, dispossessed by Bastoni, and it comes from Rafael Toloi. That's Zapata, and that's Gosens! Atalanta make the breakthrough. Back in the side, back on the score sheet. Robin Gosens is a big player for La Dea, and that is what he does best. A happy knack of scoring from out wide. But the goal has been chalked off. The video assistant referee has had his say. Duvan Zapata was in an offside position. It was his flick which found Gosens. And Atalanta's opener rightly overturned. Maggiore, Diego Farias, looking to get the return from Jazzy, who goes himself. Punched away by Gollini. Better from Spezia, a bit more thrust about them. Jazzy stung the palms there of Gollini. Ilicic. This is Sam Lammer's first touch, and he very nearly beat Provedel. Great piece of control to get it out of his feet and then let fly. Ilicic. Clever ball, Pasalic arriving. Still there for Pasalic. It must be for Guzans. Great save from Provedel. Pasalic's cross, headed out by Deola. Fabulous goalkeeping from the Spezia shot stopper. Provedel got his angles right. Supreme piece of athleticism there to hurl himself between Guzans and the ball. Pessina. Here comes Guzans, 3 forward here for Atalanta. Guzans, Pasalic to win it. He snatched at it, and Provedel got everything behind it. Well played, Robin Guzans. Just the pass it needed. Guzans. This is Lammers. Guzans again. Pasalic is through. Mario Pasalic, he could yet do it himself. Pasalic again. Provedel once more to the rescue. Miranchuk suggesting that the pass should have come. Pasalic denied by Provedel twice in quick succession. Rafael Toloi. Schutalo. Miranchuk. Was he blocked off? The referee is unmoved. Alexei Miranchuk astonished that this didn't warrant at least a blow of the whistle. It has finished entertainingly. Spezia 0, Atalanta 0.
Hoping to have more luck in front of goal than Atalanta, with the other joint top scorers in Serie A going into match day 8, Sassuolo. But they face the side with the best defensive record in the division so far when travelling to take on Hellas Verona. Roberto De Zerbi's side had made their best ever start to a top-flight season at this stage, but nobody had taken more points at home than Verona this term. And Ivan Ilic was so close to firing them in front with just 5 minutes on the clock. Sassuolo survived another scare just over 20 minutes later. This time Federico De Marco's cross almost caught out Andrea Consili before bouncing to safety. Ivan Juric's Verona were taking the game to the visitors early on. Consili then came up with a crucial contribution of his own to keep his team on terms, denying Pavel Davidovic, who met Mattias Akanyi's free kick. Instead, though, it was Sassuolo who opened the scoring just before the first half finished, and they did so in some style. A brilliant effort from Jeremy Bogar made the breakthrough. Quite a way to open his account for the campaign. Teammate Domenico Berardi had scored in both of Italy's Nations League wins during the international break and continued his fine form when effectively settling the issue with Sassuolo's second, knowing a win would at least temporarily take them to the top of the table ahead of Milan's meeting with Napoli. The Nero Verdi were also on course for a third consecutive clean sheet, but again required assistance from the post to keep out Miguel Veloso's sweetly struck free kick. And the story was summed up in stoppage time when, with the very last action of the game, Zaccagni's effort was diverted onto the bar by Destiny Udogie. It just wouldn't go in for Hellas Verona. But it's 4 straight away wins in Serie A for Sassuolo for the first time in their history.
Still to come, high-flying Roma had Parma in their sights at the Stadio Olimpico. That's on the way. Our roundup continues in the capital. A visit to the Stadio Olimpico was a kind of homecoming for Parma coach Fabio Liverani, who spent 5 years as a Lazio player. But facing Roma would be a real test for his current club. Paulo Fonseca's in-form hosts had appointed fellow Portuguese Tiago Pinto as general manager, but they were again without striker Edin Dzeko. Commentary from Patrick Kendrick.
Pedro able to turn. It's his ball towards Mayoral, and on goes Jordan Vertu. Good save from Sepe. Lovely combination between Roma. Either side of Sepe, and the Giallorossi surely would have had the lead. Sat up very invitingly for Vertu. Here is Vertu. Spinazzola. Lovely reverse pass. Borja Mayoral gives Roma the lead. Beautifully tucked away by the Spaniard. He's been quiet, but he came to life there. Great vision from Spinazzola. Borja Mayoral timed his run to perfection. And Sepe couldn't get out quickly enough to thwart him. Mancini. Roma can settle down now and play with more freedom, having got the opening goal. Spinazzola, so important in the final third. Mkhitaryan! Wonderful! Outrageously good from the man in form. Some of the Roma players wanted a free kick. The advantage was played, and Mkhitaryan thumped it into the back of the net. Roma with a quick 1-2 to floor Liverani's Parma. There are a few sides as adept as the Giallorossi at springing forward at pace, like a coiled spring. Borja Mayoral. Pedro with Karsdorp to his right. Karsdorp now, and there's another for Mkhitaryan. Sweeping football from Roma, devastatingly effective. Mkhitaryan has his second. Credit to Pedro for the awareness, but it's all about the ball in from Rick Karsdorp. Put on a plate for Henrik Mkhitaryan. Grassi didn't go with it, but the shape on the cross is outstanding. Fabio Liverani does have a seemingly kind-hearted and benign president in the shape of Kyle Krause, but Parma don't want to be too low down the table, otherwise might force the American owner to have a decision to make. Borja Mayoral breaks for Jordan Vertu. Very nearly number 4 for Roma. Frenchman trying to pick out the corner. Left by Pedro. Plenty of time for Vertu. Just trying to shape it into the corner. Pedro driving forward. Mkhitaryan straight at Sepe on this occasion. Going close to that hat-trick goal for the second straight league match. Well found by Pedro. It's a lovely run between the two defenders. He knew where the goal was. Credit to Sepe for pushing it away. Juan Jesus. Villar keeps it moving. This is Karsdorp. Slip through here for Mkhitaryan. Pedro, Spinazzola. Somehow Sepe makes the save. Brilliant goalkeeping, a bit of good fortune about it too. Roma oh so close to adding a fourth. Pedro got out of the way and Spinazzola's effort went under Sepe, somehow off the crossbar. Roma march on. Their winning sequence continues. 4 in a row in all competitions. Certainly in the race for the top 4, and who knows, potentially in a title push as well. It has finished Roma 3, Parma 0.
Next to Calabria, where Crotone's game with Lazio had been in some doubt due to torrential rain and flash floods in the region. On the field, Crotone's return to the top flight had been almost as turbulent as the weather. The only team still without a win going into match day 8. And they found themselves facing Ciro Immobile, who returned for Lazio, having not featured in the league since the start of the month. Owen Nielsen was watching this one.
Ball just getting caught up in the rain. Really terrible conditions in the midfield An error there and a chance with Cordaz losing the ball at the feet of Immobile, who with a snapshot is unable to find the open net. And the turn, Benali, now the cross towards Simi, and it's glanced the post. Reina unable to move, and Crotone unable to open the scoring. Well, they don't want to pass it to Ciro Immobile. Certainly has a point to prove. Patrick crossing in, the header, and the chance for Luis Alberto with the save from Cordaz in the centre of goal. Anywhere else would have been the opening strike. Parolo. Crossing in, Immobile! And there is the goal. Wonderful diving header. Such a difficult few weeks for Ciro Immobile. But their #1 scorer finds the net once again. The header of Immobile leaves Cordaz with no hope. Crotone 0, Lazio 1. Here is Correa. Well, it comes through Parolo. And it's excellent left-handed save by Cordaz. Puts it around his post. Correa getting it through the leg of Cuomo. And Cordaz is down and pushes it out. This is Lazzari. Patrick, a rare cross from him. Back post, Fares. And off the line. The header was needed by Luca Marrone. Excellent ball in from the Spaniard, Patrick. And Fares arriving at the back of the box, testing the keeper's left boot. With only a 1-goal deficit, Crotone, bottom of the league standings, will feel they have a chance, and an early chance. Benali. Shot saved by Peperena. Seconds gone. Wonderful turn from Vulic. Set that up for Benali. Correa. Immobile moving into the middle. This is the Argentinian Correa. Still in possession. And another save from Cordaz. Making the difference, the Crotone captain. And a solid stop at his near post. Stock passed. It would be a pleasure, always is a pleasure, to see Simone Inzaghi playing with each other at Piacenza in the late 90s. This is Joaquin Correa coming into the area. The chance for the second goal. Goes alone and finds the bottom corner. What a finish. His first goal of the season. And the number 11 who scored 9 goals last season. There was high expectations for him to continue that run here in this campaign. It's taken until round 8. But the Argentinian finally opens his account. Crotone 0, Lazio 2. Turn is Immobile. Now, are we going to see Caicedo get involved in the action? The ball was headed his way. Akpro. Immobile. And he puts it across the face. That struck the body, says the referee, of Pereira. Immobile, more than anyone else, certainly looked in a position to take a shot, which it was. Luis Alberto. Caicedo, this to wrap things up. Well, Cordaz held him from the first shot. Felipe Caicedo, with a wonderful opportunity to get the third goal, was in an onside position with Pereira playing him on. Cordaz doing his job well. The final whistle goes. It finishes here. Crotone 0, Lazio 2. A very professional performance from Lazio, all considered.
From one Inzaghi brother to the next as Filippo's Benevento travelled to Florence, where the headline news was the return of coach Cesare Prandelli. He'd replaced Beppe Iacchini, but his second spell in charge after 10 years away got off to a difficult start, with midfielder Giacomo Bonaventura injured in the warm-up. Two teams short of confidence and form struggled to create chances. Cristiano Biraghi's effort summed up the first half, which included another setback for Prandelli's side. Franck Ribéry forced off with a knee injury. Perhaps sensing their luck was in, Benevento struck early in the second half. After Biraghi was caught napping, Riccardo Improta's precise finish was his first goal in Serie A. Roberto Insigne with the assist. The goal just what Inzaghi needed after 4 straight league defeats, in which they'd conceded 13 times. Prandelli required a response from his side, which didn't really materialise. Instead, the visitors looked the more dangerous, with Insigne testing Bartolome Drongowski. Benevento's coach surely wanted a second goal to be sure, and that nearly arrived in the last 10 minutes as the game finally stirred to life. Gianluca Lapadula's superb free kick was matched by Drongowski. The Fiorentina keeper producing a performance his teammates never threatened to match. And yet they almost snatched a point. At last a touch of flair from Dusan Vlahovic, but Lorenzo Montipo stood firm. And Prandelli's disappointing return might have been more comprehensive. Deep in stoppage time, Lapadula was rather less accurate than he'd been earlier, but his team had their 3rd league win of the season. While Fiorentina's 4th coach in 19 months appears to have a big job on his hands.
Next to Genoa, where Sampdoria were hoping to make home advantage count against a Bologna side who'd lost all 3 of their away games this season. But few knew the opposition better than Sinisa Mihajlovic. The former Sampdoria player and coach had seen Bologna prevail in the club's previous 3 meetings. It was Claudio Ranieri's Samp who got off to a strong start here, though. Antonio Candreva's corner was emphatically dispatched by Morten Thorsby in just the 7th minute of the match. A second goal of the season for the Scandinavian. That effort extended Bologna's record run to 41 successive Serie A matches without a clean sheet, but they soon set about a response. Riccardo Orsolini was left wondering how he hadn't scored from here. Grateful his blushes were ultimately spared somewhat by an offside flag. There's no such reprieve for Vasco Regini, though, as the equaliser arrived just before half-time. The Sampdoria defender putting through his own net under no real pressure as Orsolini's corner came in. The turnaround was swiftly completed 7 minutes into the second half. Orsolini found the finish this time after Moussa Barrow's brilliant ball in. The forward's first away goal since a 2-1 success at Sampdoria back in June. That result had ended Bologna's run of 22 years without an away win in this fixture. But as they closed in on another, the frustration was building for Claudio Ranieri, sent off for dissent late in the game. After 6 successive away league losses going back to last season, this was a much-needed victory for the visitors. And Rodrigo Palacio was only the width of the post away from extending their advantage in stoppage time. Back-to-back defeats for Ranieri's men, who now find Bologna just a point behind them.
Finally to Udine for a meeting of 2 teams in the bottom 3. Both Udinese and Genoa had tasted victory just once so far in the league, although the visitors did include a player who'd enjoyed recent success on the international stage. His coach Rolando Moran and opposite number Luca Gotti were 2 experienced men under pressure. Goran Pandev, fresh from scoring the goal that took North Macedonia to their first major tournament, made his first start in 3 games for Genoa, and the veteran might have done better with a good chance that Mattia Bani wasted. A concern for Gotti, whose side's tally of 1 win made it their worst start to a season in 8 years. Their 0-0 draw with Sassuolo before the international break was encouraging, but they needed to find their scoring touch. Cue just their 7th league goal of the season, but one to savour from Rodrigo de Paul. The Argentine had also scored their 6th against Milan 3 weeks ago. Udinese hadn't lost any of their last 8 league meetings with Genoa, but the lead remained a slender one. De Paul so nearly doubled it inside the final 10 minutes. His effort was by no means the end of the drama. With time almost up, Genoa's 21-year-old striker Gianluca Scamacca began to make his presence felt. He created an opportunity for substitute Mihail Zajc. And Moran sensed there was still a chance as Udinese dropped deeper and deeper. And sure enough, in the 94th minute, the loanee from Sassuolo struck his 3rd goal in 4 games. Or perhaps not. The celebrations cut short by a VAR check. Scamacca just offside. And a huge relief for Gotti. Genoa's frustration was just as great, and it completely got the better of Mattia Perin. The goalkeeper's wild lunge at Jens Striger Larsen brought an inevitable red card. One more setback for the Rosso Blue, now a little more firmly trapped in the relegation zone.
Half of the games ended in away wins on match day 8, which saw just the one draw between Spezia and Atalanta. Inter were the top scorers with the 4 goals they put past Torino, but the biggest margin of victory was Roma's 3-0 win against Parma. Crotone's wait for a win goes on. They're now 3 points adrift at the bottom. Udinese's victory over fellow strugglers Genoa lifted them above their opponents and up 3 places to 16th. Torino drop into the bottom 3. Milan and Sassuolo maintain their pace at the top. The leaders' victory in Naples saw Napoli slip from 3rd to 6th in the standings. Roma, Juventus and Inter all upwardly mobile above them.
Like he'd never been gone, last season's capo cannoniere Ciro Immobile was back with a bang. But his challengers in the scoring stakes responded. When he plays, he scores in Serie A. Cristiano Ronaldo with a 3rd brace of the season. Also at the double, Romelu Lukaku, inspiring Inter from close range. But still setting the pace, the league leader's talisman.
Ibrahimovic, what an outstanding season he's having.